Welcome, traveler. You are now listening to Castle Black, the blackest House of Dragon podcast in all the realms.
Castle Black, by For All Nerds, is powered by our listeners. Everything we do, from our podcasts, live events, website, and more, are independently funded. Please continue to support us through our Patreon page at patreon.com/forallnerds.
Castle Black. So this is the seat of the Night's Watch.
And welcome, Internet, to another episode of Castle Black, the blackest House of Dragon podcast in all the realms, powered by For All Nerds, where we discuss everything in the world of Game of Thrones from the perspective of people of color. And it is one of your hosts, Tatiana King, a.k.a. the Lord of Light Sabers. And I'm joined with the crew, the Castle Black crew here. First up, welcome back to the castle, Portia, our Grand Maester.
Hello and welcome. I come from with glad tidings from the Old Tower, Old Town, and I have many missions and missives to give to everyone here. But honestly, let's start with my AKAs. I'm also known as the Lady Mary Jane of Hightower, as well as Maester in disguise. You may also know that I am the Three-Eyed Ravenclaw. And generally, I just think, never know what Maesters are up to. So watch what we have up our sleeves. Yeah. Especially in the show.
So you're saying we gotta watch our back about you. What you said, Lady Mary Jane of Highgarden. Okay. I see. And welcome back to the castle, Chica Supreme.
Hey, everybody. This is Chica Supreme, a.k.a. Chica, a.k.a. the Sea Snake's Loctician, a.k.a. the Headless Seaman, a.k.a. well, it's not really an a.k.a., but Allison ain't shit and never will be shit. Yeah.
You ain't shit. Your mama ain't shit. Your daddy ain't shit. Your whole family.
Yeah.
Okay. And of course, we have the legendary DJ Ben Hameen.
Hello, it's your boy DJ Ben Hameen, a.k.a. Ben Ha of the Means. Draco Targaryen, Uncle Benjamin's rice and peas, a man has no shame, the iron price is right, the butcher of names, the filleted man. Little Twitter fingers, spin the block on Castle Rock. Who wants that sea smoke?
Yes!
Catch these hands of the king.
Excellent. Yo, I forgot about Uncle Benji, yo.
Uncle Benjamin's rice and peas,
I forgot about that nigga. Oh my God. Anyway, we are back. Thank y'all so much for all the new joiners, the new listeners. We love you. We appreciate all the feedback we've been getting. We just wanted to say thank you very much. Thank you for the follows. Thank you for the shares. Thank you for telling everybody about our podcast. Please continue doing that. Please get the family together, the Castle Black family. We want this to grow. We appreciate you. And welcome back.
We're here. Sorry. Who is that who shouted us out? Chica, someone shouted us out this week.
Oh, yeah. Direwolf City. The ladies of Direwolf City, thank you so much for shouting us out. We appreciate you so much. Yes, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you from Castle Black. And make sure you guys go listen to them and check out all of their content as well. We are back to talk everything episode 8 of House of Dragon, titled The Lord of the Tides, directed by Greta Van Sant Patel and written by Eileen Shim. And please correct me wrong, how many years have passed now between episode 7 and episode 8? Like 4 or 6 years, something like that?
They said
I thought
6.
it was 6.
6.
Yeah.
Okay, got it. So we've seen some changes. I thought that we were done with the time jumps, but I guess not. We clearly still have the same Alicent and Rhaenyra. We have a very much accelerated towards a corpse Viserys. Daemon looks pretty much the fucking same, so maybe had a little black in him. But and we also see the kids are older, and they're also still fighting. That being said, DJ Ben Hameen, tell me something you appreciated about this episode.
All right. First up, let me see. What did I like about
Yes.
this? Oh, that was one of my new AKAs I didn't drop, but that's something I loved about it was Viserys looking like a gold-plated golem. I've been waiting for this moment since the trailer. I'd seen the shot of him coming out with the cane and everything with the pure struggle and the gold-plated golem face going on.
Gold-plated struggle.
Yeah, gold plated struggle, and I've been waiting for that moment. And then when my man pulled the mask off like he was Two-Face in the hospital, you know what I mean? It was just like,
Mask off.
yeah, that was
Mask
just
off.
it was there was, you know, oh no, that was Joker in the hospital, right? Two-Face is laying there watching him, and he doesn't realize that he's Joker until he pulls the mask off. But yeah, my man pulled the mask off looking like Two-Face. That it was just I thought this wasn't my favorite episode, I have to say.
Really? Why was
Yeah.
that?
There was, all right. It once again, it's just like with She-Hulk. It's the things that I love about the show are the things I dislike about it. This joint was the most utterly ridiculous soap opera shit I've ever seen. Every time
But
everybody,
it's been soap opera.
I know it's been it, and I love it and I hate it. That's all I'm saying.
Okay.
Anytime anyone talked in this episode, there's thunder in the background. It's like, "Whoa, did you hear what I just said?" You know, it's like, come on, fam, what am I watching right here? And then well, that's something I definitely disliked, so I'll save that. I came around to my man Damon on this episode. I was not a fan. I was definitely Amon gang. I'm now Damon and Amon gang, even though them two is beefing.
Wait
to
a
high
minute.
hell.
Wait a minute. Amon got the same energy as Damon, so how could you
Yeah.
not like Damon?
I don't know. I didn't feel that. I felt the I don't give a fuck energy, but I didn't like that until it was coupled with the actual brotherly love in this one. Like that got
Okay.
me. That sold me right there. When my man stepped up and helped him up to the throne, that I was like, Damon gained for life right there. You know, family.
Yeah,
You know,
well,
family.
all right, Vin Diesel. But yeah, I mean, he's always loved his
Ben
brother.
Diesel,
He was,
that's a new one.
yeah, he was doing fuck shit, but like he's always loved his brother, and you know, it was questionable his methods, but it was always. Now that I'm understanding, it was technically all rooted in love, you know, so in family, I guess. So I don't know.
I mean, you can't lie. Like we all saw where Damon was early on in the series. He was
Yeah.
trying to get power. He was trying to make a
Yeah.
point that he wanted the crown or whatever. So
Yep.
Right.
he
but-
can, he aligned himself with Rhaenyra because he learned that was the better way to go for it. And now that he's all in on that being the way to go for it, he's all in on his brother's support for Rhaenyra's claim to the
Yep.
throne. So
Yeah.
I'm with it. Like I see it.
yeah.
He still ain't shit, but I just fuck him.
No, he still ain't shit. He's still probably still my fave. That love to hate, love to love. Portia, what else did you like about this episode?
I love drama. I watch Housewives. I'm all about that.
Yes.
And so most of this episode was me just being like, ooh, hater watch. Like, ooh,
This shit was a Housewives reunion, okay? For all of them to be up in the throne room, they was all looking at each other, having a cipher, talking about, and you a bastard, and you this, and you that. Like, I just was having a time watching this, and I was just like, who's gonna say this? What's gonna happen next? Like, it was fun.
I was getting my whole Housewives live. I was just like, okay, so the biggest haters that I'm going to watch their faces, even when they're in their backgrounds, is going to be Vaemond, like Valerian, and also Otto Hightower. And Otto Hightower was serving magnificent face in the backgrounds of like all the hater things that were going on.
Yes.
Like whenever Alicent and Rhaenyra, like they were getting along, his face was like,
Was Vaemond like the
Yeah.
Kenya Moore of the reunion? Like, he's just...
Wow.
he
He was
basically flipped a face in
Right.
Rhaenyra's face and was like, bastard.
I need to hear Chica say it. I need to hear.
Chica,
Yes.
please say it
Uh,
for us one good time.
Vaemon was just like, your kids are bastards and Rhaenyra is a whore. like with the gumption, like the weight of it too.
I love how he gassed him up though. Say it. My
said,
man
"Say it,
gassed
nigga."
him
Wait, who
up.
was that said say it? I was trying to figure out who said say it.
Damon.
Damon
He
gassed
was like,
him.
I'm ready to stab you. I don't care.
Do it.
And he looked straight at Damon when he
And
"You
he
think-
smiled.
You think I ain't got it?
Damon said, I dare you, nigga, say that shit. And then Damon said, nigga. You know what I mean? Like, immediate smoke all across the board. That shit was the funniest. And I know what you're saying, but that shit was
No, that shit was
amazing.
hilarious, dog. Don't get me
shit was
wrong. That shit was
amazing.
fucking comedy.
Oh
I'm over
my
here rolling
God.
right now.
Oh man. Oh, Portia, I did like that scene a lot. That was one of my likes too, because particularly the Greens was tight. The Greens was mad that Rhaenys was like, Nah, I'm rolling with her niece. I'm rolling with my niece.
Well, no, her
cousin,
niece.
Or whatever.
But like,
listen,
we know that she's truly running with her granddaughter. She's like, I'm gonna do what I'm best positioned to do for my granddaughters, for my legacy, and that happens to be my niece right now. So let's do that.
Just for the record, I'm all fucked up with their bloodlines because it's sister uncles and uncle husbands and like
and new babies. Oh my God.
She said kids in plural, and I was like,
is it 3
and
of them
she
now?
pregnant.
Is
but
she pregnant?
She got two. She got two.
I'm talking about Aegon and his sister have two. Like,
oh yeah, they got babies too.
The maid was supposed. Yeah, she's
Yep.
like the maid was supposed to dress the kids. I was like, kids in plural.
Yep.
Wait, Helena and Wednesday
Aegon.
Targaryen and Aegon got kids.
Yep.
Aemon?
Oh God.
No, Aemon. Aegon. Aegon's the older, Aemon's the younger.
Knows how she got them. Oh God.
Oh my God. Wow. Okay. Chica, what did you like about this episode?
I liked that when Rhaenyra and Daemon came onto the scene and they had to get over not being like having a party to welcome them into the home. They go straight to Viserys and then they see Alicent. They're like, what is going on with him? Mm-hmm. Why does he look like this? Why are y'all drugging him heavy like that? You know? And I thought that it was just good to see somebody stick up for Viserys in that way because it's elder abuse.
I was going to say.
Why are y'all, like, even if he's in pain, like, why does that mean that he has cobwebs on his Legoland?
Facts.
You know? Like,
Legoland.
Right, you're right. Like, y'all know that's his pride and joy.
That's his
room.
Yeah, that's his jam.
And they got cobwebs all over it, okay? And then he, like, his nails, everything, he's just fucked up. Like,
he just
from
dirty.
the rooter to the tutor, just fucked up.
You said rooter to the tutor?
Yes. Okay. And I'm glad that they were questioning it because it's just like, even if he's dying, he should have the utmost comfort. To be honest, they shouldn't have been able to just go in as easily like that, right? Not like for guards, but why was no one in the room with him?
That's true. Nobody's watching him.
Not even a Septa. Like a Septa would probably be someone that would be there like around the clock.
Is there a reason for that? It's just because like they're just not caring about him, or is it because like they don't want people in there because they don't want them to be accused of like making him more sick or even potentially trying to kill him? Or
I don't think they care about him because I think that they could have had a maester. It doesn't have to be the main one at the council, but somebody should be in there to make sure he's all right. Like
a nurse, somebody.
Right, like some type of nurse. Like he could choke on that milk of the poppy and die. Like he could try to get something on his own and fall down and just be on the floor for hours and stuff. So I'm glad that they checked her about it, although she really wasn't trying to hear any of that shit. But it was good to see it. And then also we were able to see how much it impacted not just Rhaenyra, but really Daemon to see Viserys like that. You know, like this is his brother. And even if they're at odds, like for him to be, to get to this point.
Yeah.
You know, like.
And living in that pain. And that's like, you know, when you have, especially when you have a good relationship with a sibling, you never want to see them like that. Like, regardless of what y'all personal beefs may be, at the end of the day, it's all love. And as you said, you saw the pain on his, like, the conflict on Daemon's face. And also, like, you know, him seeing how he's also treated, it led to him, you know, pulling Alicent's card. Like, you know, they over there taking over the council. Alicent is essentially being the voice, quote unquote, of Viserys along with her daddy. And then like, and I assume her daddy's pushing this, but like acting oblivious, like when he was like, why y'all got green shit all over the place? Why y'all got the 7 stars everywhere? Where's all the Targaryen, as he called it, the Targaryen heraldry, like the flags and all that shit? You trying to push this out? Like, what is this shit about? So I like that he checked on that.
Yeah, and you know it got a smell in there since they ain't doing anything.
You saw the incense. There was mad incense in there.
Mad incense. Because he probably pissing all up in that bed. Because they don't change the sheets. They don't pick him up.
And where were the maids? When she walked in, her face was like, oh, like she smelled it right away. And Daemon was trying to hide it. You know, Daemon laugh at anything. And when he don't laugh, you know, smell like hot death up in there.
But it's also his brother. So he was like, my brother is the king and he's laying in, like, what? Like, he was probably just so completely, like, I can't even make a joke about this. Like, what in the F?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, one of the other things that I really enjoyed about this episode was King Viserys himself. I know he's clearly been through it. He's clearly on his last. But when I say I stood up and clapped when this man pulled up, decrepit as hell, in pain as hell, and rolled, like when he pulled up through the throne room to defend his baby. Like you saw her, she was at her when she was in the room with him, Rhaenyra, a few scenes prior. She was at her wit's end. She was crying like, somebody protect me, somebody help. Like she know her daddy is the only person who could really say something. This is the king of the 7 realms, and for him to push through and pull up, oh my God, I was like, that's my nigga. Like all the yes, I've been talking about this nigga this entire season, this entire series, but he did what needed to be done.
The redeeming quality for him has been his fatherhood of Rhaenyra, because he ain't, and them kids with Alicent are not getting any of this. But
they don't get no attention.
They ain't getting none of that.
They get used. You see how Otto uses to this day, uses Alicent. That's no father.
And he's side, like, we'll get to that in a moment. About, I think that's my one dislike of the episode. But like, not that I loved everything, but anyways, I loved how much, like, that's like a redeeming quality for Viserys is like he might be the father of the franchise for Rhaenyra in particular. Like I've not seen any other father figure in the Game of Thrones universe go as hard for any of their children as Viserys went.
Ned Stark went hard before he got beheaded.
If he was
Stark
smart,
went hard.
Ned Stark went pretty hard.
He did, but
he went pretty hard, but he didn't. For me, I feel like Ned Stark, like,
I don't think he got a chance
he
to show how hard he could go.
I feel like I'm always gonna feel a way about Ned Stark because of how Jon Snow, he allowed Cat to treat Jon Snow. I'm gonna always feel a way about that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, technically, Jon Snow's his kid, but whatever. I still think that, like, he treated him as a kid. That's his kid. And so yeah, I've never seen any, like, for Ned Stark, he's never, like, he writ really hard to make sure that, like, his girls were better aware of what they were stepping in court, even if, like, Sansa didn't listen to him and Arya was headstrong, but he never, like,
you don't think he bucked the system? It sounds like that's what you're leading to. Like,
he never
Viserys was thrown over.
Yeah, Viserys was like, no, I will move the force of my wrecking bones to get to the place where y'all will leave my baby alone. I don't care what I gotta do. I'm gonna call my family dinner like Big Mama. We got to do that. Like, we're not, I am
that was
not
soul food. That was a soul food dinner. That was like
it was.
His arm already gone.
Fucked my husband.
Yeah.
And his eyeball gone. Shit.
Yeah, man.
And he took out the mask too. He was like, mask, like we were saying, mask off or whatever. Like, let's be completely real, frank about this. I know I'm about to die. We all know I'm about to die. And y'all aren't gonna be sitting around here making my legacy beat look this way because y'all all have petty grievances. Let's air this out. Yeah. I don't know why this man thought this was gonna do it.
Well, you know what? The besides Viserys stepping up, like really doing his thug thizzle, I like that he was also more thugged out this episode. Like, I was like, finally, the king you were supposed to be this whole time. Like, it's like when he was the other nigga Vayman was all like, I'm not gonna allow my bloodline to be snuffed, and he said, I'll allow it. Like, you know, like, he just don't give a fuck. And then, like, he was throwing bars at him. He was like, you the second son, my nigga. Like, you not even the first. Like, that shit was cold-blooded. Like, I love this shit. And I'm like, damn it, Viserys. You know, I'm mad you did this shit on your deathbed, but I'm glad you stepped up.
Some people be like that, though. Like, they'll wait until, like, they know they have their ultimate power, and that's when like, we needed you, like, 5 games ago. Where were you? But I was going to say, the line about second sons in particular, if you think about it, we first see the Valyrian, like, uncle in the episode called Second Sons. Like, that's the first time we see his appearance. So it's coming back, like a poetic kind of thing, like coming back to him. That's grand opening in Second Sons, and then the last time you hear Second Sons, grand closing.
And Corlys wasn't there to save him, okay? Last time he was like, shut the fuck up. This time. You got too saucy. You were like, yeah, she a whore. Now you don't got no head, bitch.
That once again was one of my most loved and most hated moments because they managed to eliminate both dreads in one episode. Like, one off screen, and I really wanted to see
We don't know.
Corlys
We
serve
don't
some-
know that Corlys is dead.
Okay,
We know that
and
he's
We
fighting.
don't know.
For
We
his
know
life.
he's on his way to
I
go.
We know he's
seriously doubt
fighting
it.
for his
I
life.
think he'll recover, but I don't know if I'll get to see him serve some fools. And that's what I really wanted to see was him and the other dreads serve more fools. And instead, I just saw one fool get served. But I did love it because, I mean, like I said, this show's ridiculous. My man cuts his head off and says he can keep his tongue. Like,
And the tongue was still laying there.
I
I'm
know.
like, the VFX is wrong for that. Like, why did you have the tongue still laying in the
I
jaw?
knew he was gonna say something as soon as the tongue was still there. I knew it.
He
I
said,
was
"You
like, this,
dare me?"
this fool was gonna. No, I'm talking about like after he cut his head off. I knew
Yeah.
Damon was gonna have a snappy
Oh, yeah.
line, like it's Terminator or some
Because
shit.
Damon
You know
was
what I mean?
unserious. Damon is unserious as all
But
fuck.
how you make a joke after you cut half a man's head off? Though?
That's how he fucking moves in life, and that's why I fuck with him. I screamed off the Maybach when he did that shit, boy.
Yeah,
that
he
shit was done.
He
The
became
fact-
my new favorite right there.
The fact that like Otto was like, remove his weapon, and he was like, I'm good.
Chill. Don't touch me.
That's all I wanted to do was snap off his head. I don't know why y'all
The
looking at
work is
me.
done.
I am not Sir Cole. Like, don't play me. I got one opponent right now. It was him.
Speaking of Circle, that bitch ass nigga was.
Yep.
Anyway,
Eamon serving Sir Cole up was also a highlight of this episode for me.
yeah. Oh yeah, that's right. Ben, I mean, what else you appreciated about this episode?
Like I said, Eamon serving up Sir Cole, but almost. But like I say, the precision of Damon chopping off my man's head.
Yeah.
As far as like things that are just production values that I really loved was the music during the dinner. I don't know the characters' themes enough, but like once the pop left the room, once Viserys bounced, it felt like the music turned into like a battling thing where it kind of got dissonant. And it felt like everything was an argument between the music as well as the characters.
Yes.
So I really loved that effect. I thought that was really well done. I loved, like you said, I hated and loved. I mean, I'm not, a watcher of Housewives, but I watch all kind of, silly soap opera shit. Like I keep saying, the show is Power. I got back on Power this week. I've been off it for a few weeks because I thought I was done, and then it got me right back. It's still a silly soap opera that I cannot get enough of. And that's the same thing with this show. I thought all the arguments, all the side eyes, Otto was hilarious. Oh man, So
Yeah.
overall, it's a good episode. It just,
Yeah, definitely.
I need more dragons.
I will say Rhaenys had me in the first half, not gonna lie. Like I was like, damn, she really gonna just be about herself. I mean, at the end of the day, she's gonna protect her granddaughters. But I did like that she jumped in and was like, nah, I'm with Rhaenyra. Like, don't even try that dumb shit.
I love my man popping shit too. I can't lie. The whole line was like, come on.
That shit was fucking hilarious, bro. There's nothing more funny than that.
Off for it, like.
I love that Damon goaded him on, and has he not met Damon before? Like, this man is goading you. Nothing good is going to come after. Like, what is wrong? And I'm like, what could he possibly think would happen next? You think you're going to sit here and the King Ben said, you call her and her boys out of their name. It's called treason.
Yep.
What did you think was going to happen next?
He was in the court. He said, I don't give a fuck. And then started just
you must
fucking
give
popping
your
off.
life because you don't give a F. That's
Right.
it. And you know what I thought was very like ironic was that like he was trying so hard and his like he was justified. Those are not Valerians. Yes. However, you are talking about like not ending your house line. You just ended it right there.
Right. He ended it himself.
You're right.
All by him lonesome.
I didn't even think about that.
Yes. He busted
Scissor,
all
baby.
of it.
He cut his own blood out with precision. That's funny. Chica, what else did you like about this episode?
I think, well, aside from Viserys and stuff, because we touched on it, like he not taking milk of the poppy, so you know how much pain he was in to get down to the throne and do stuff. I would say something else that I liked in relation to Vaemon dying was the fact that Rhaenys accepted Rhaenyra's proposal so that Jace, Luke, and Bela and Rhaena could go be engaged and stuff. Because at first it was a little bit like, where is she going to go with this?
Yeah.
Does she actually accept them? Does she not accept? Yeah.
And I think that uncertainty is also why I'm like, Vayman was stupid for pulling up like that, because like there's so many variables in the air. And even before he left Driftmark, Rhaenys was like, I don't know, son. Like, she wasn't really fucking with him with his idea. She was like, you sure you want to do that? So I'm like, if you have someone who's like not 100% on your side, you're gonna go across the narrow sea and have this conversation. Like, for what? Like, for what? Like, and that's why I couldn't understand. Like, why are you pulling this shit now, Vayman? Like, I mean, I know you feel like this is the time because your brother is deposed, but come on, my nigga. Like, this is not smart. You need to think more.
He thought, that's the sentence. But he really thought that because the king was laying on his deathbed, that the king he was already writing one out for Corlys. He was already writing one out for Viserys. And he was like, while they're both out, and if they're not all the way out, this is my chance. This is my one opportunity, one mic.
Yeah.
And he's ready to go. And he overplayed his hand, because if he really would have been like on it, he knew, like, when he was confronting Rhaenys, he knew that she was, if not personally was looking to be seated on Driftmark, was looking to have her granddaughters on there. He could have been strategic and betrothed some of his kids or whatever, nieces, nephews, to the granddaughters, and that wouldn't have been a problem. He would have gotten loyalty from Rhaenys, which he really needed. He thought he could go over her. He thought he could go over the king lying in his bed, and he thought he could go over Rhaenyra. So he thought that he was going to actually make like a big old like alliance with the freaking Hightowers, and he thought they were the ones who were running the whole game.
My nigga, they don't like you, and like they usually like. He reminded me like when he was trying to be secretive with Otto up in the chambers. I was just like, nigga, you sound like your brother being stupid right now. Like I just feel like it was the same mistakes being done again, like to try to change alliances. And like, nah, that's not smart. We did this already. It didn't work.
Yeah. And I think what's really important about it is that as much as people call like Jace and Luke bastards, it would be one thing if Laenor hadn't accepted them and called them his sons while he was still alive.
Facts.
And so I feel like something, or at least a card that I wish that Rhaenyra would have played when she was talking to Rhaenys about all of this, is that she should have touched on the like his true nature that everybody knew about, that technically is the reason he died or whatever, and that she did love him and she accepted him for who he was, and he accepted these children.
Right. I mean, she did say she loved him and she was trying to like impart that, but you're right. She could have also expressed that other stuff.
Right. I think if she had touched on the fact that he's gay and that she still loved him in spite of all of that, and that he still accepted these kids, then maybe she would have seen reason when they were having that conversation. Yeah. And while it is in my likes that she accepted the betrothal, I think the only reason why she decided to accept it is because Viserys showed up.
I think the girls also like they were in, like the girls feel like they were in the same kind of place, like they were accepting of the betrothal too. Like they didn't look upset by and like they both looked happy. Like whenever she said it, she turned back to Baela and Baela was smiling. So it seemed like they also supported it. Like they were down.
You see how they developed or they try to allude to that when during the last episode during the funeral. Like you saw when they were comforting each other, they were holding hands. It was like, all right, we're gonna be good cousins, and and clearly they got in a whole gang fight together, a gang war. So
that
like
Aegon is still salty about, because as soon as they were starting to argue at the fight at the table, he was already on the younger one trying to hold him down. I'm like, you're over eager right now because you missed out last time, so you're ready to be like in people's faces. And I'm like, you missed it last time when everybody was jumping your brother.
He reminded me, like, you have an argument with somebody, you walk away, then like 10 minutes later, you're like, shit, I should have said that. Like, that's what that was. Like, he held that shit for 6 years. It was like, wait, I got some more for your ass. So but yeah,
very passive aggressive.
the girls
aggressive,
right? The girls were fine with it. Like I said, they've developed a good relationship with their cousins. So again, this is weird to me in terms of,
but also kind of like they're step siblings as well. So they're cousin step siblings.
Here we go. Goddamn.
I'm so lost. I do have one quick last light that I loved. What's her? I never know her name. The Rhaenys wife. Rhaenys. I loved her laughing at Humpty Dumb Uncle. When he's sitting there on the table, and she's like, like right before the scene cuts away, she's like,
She was like, "Cause this nigga's toast." That's why she was thinking, he's done.
Was so good though, just that last little smirk right before the cut.
Yeah.
I feel like he never must have been nice to her. Like he must have always been a problem for her.
My question is, does he have any kids?
The way he acting, no, because he acting stupid and making poor decisions without thinking about you talk about lineage. You ain't got no niggas. What do you mean?
And he had nobody backing him up in the courtroom, so I feel like he had,
But there were black women who were in the background.
Yeah,
of the funeral scene with the white Valerian
they aunties, uncles, but
that's what I'm saying. I'm just saying there might be other Valerians. They just might not be from the same Corliss Vaemon
from the same side, from the mother side, from the daddy mother side.
First of all, he was dumb. He came with the white Valerians.
Right.
I noticed. I'm just like, you didn't bring the niggas with you that could fight. Like, why would you do that? You ain't think, because the white people, if they like Joffrey,
right,
they finna die. Like,
but what if they like Daemon? He might have brought those, and they were just like, "Nah, we good, fam."
Chica, that was a perfect question. You didn't bring the niggas.
He did it.
He obviously did
it. And he lost.
One of the last likes I have, this is more on an upliftment part of things, but I did like that despite all the bullshit, despite all the fuck shit, Rhaenyra still trying to dead beef, still trying to sow peace in the Middle East with her and Alicent. They try. Maybe that friendship is reemerging. You saw Alicent at the end was like, "Please come back. Let's go play together." I don't believe in it, but I feel like there was a glimmer of hope. And Rhaenyra is still trying, even through everything. And also even Jace taking up after his mother. He was doing his Michelle Obama. He was just like,
was he? Or was he Mr. Steal Your Girl? Because Aegon was trying to act like he was Mr. Steal Your Girl, but Jace was like, no, I actually have it.
Jace took the high road. Regardless of the reason.
Jace. Well, Aegon too, but Jace, they look like they stopped growing. Like
they did. They mad short. But no, Jace, regardless of the reasons why, he still tried to take the high road. He really did.
No, he wasn't. That was grimy.
And then he tried, and then the shit just fell apart. So.
He didn't.
My man got up to dance with your woman. Where
he is Mr. Steal Your Girl.
That was after Aegon. Once again, who started the beef? Who
He didn't take the high road. That's like Michelle just take the high road when they go low.
But that was the high road.
And then after the man kept coming at him, he's like, "Fuck you, I'm gonna walk with your woman." That's
Michelle
what I'm saying.
would not
He
approve.
tried. But at that point,
if he was gonna do something, he would have been like, your wife be talking to the birds, the bees, the trees, and everybody else but you. Like, he could have said something nasty like that, but instead he's like, "Oh, let's go jig on the dance floor." In this tense conference. And meanwhile, I don't know what type of dance that was, but regardless, he was not that bad.
That was that 1, 3, 5, and 7 dancing is what that was.
It was offbeat. Okay, if if y'all need another reason to know that they aren't Valerians,
man,
this offbeat dancing. Where's the rhythm?
5, 7,
1, 3, 5.
Yeah.
7. That's where it is.
Yeah.
Portia, you have one more I wanted you to touch on the Master Whispers shit. Tell me about it. I saw that, and if y'all wasn't paying attention because y'all was so busy about all the other stuff, and y'all mean everyone listening, there was a scene that they threw in there. It seemed like a throwaway scene, but it's important. Talk about that, Portia.
Okay. So I've been mentioning Alisaria whenever I notice her in an episode, because she is, for all intents and purposes, the Mistress of Whispers during this era, of Targaryens.
And again, just to remind people who this is, this was the girl in the whorehouse.
Daemon's former lover.
The bad
Daemon's
accent
former
girl.
lover.
That's what I thought she was.
Yes, the bad accent girl, former lover Daemon, that was in the whorehouse. The whorehouse.
And that was
I told him to get out. It was like, give me my coins and bye.
Yeah.
Yes.
With no ass. Yeah.
So she had the hood. At first, I thought that was some Damon shit. I said, "Oh, here come the hood. The hood is out." But no, this is
no. But
her,
the hooded woman was the little queen.
Yes.
Yes. Yep. So the maid that walked up on her was from earlier in the episode. She was the maid who was there holding the maid who was crying whenever Aegon had raped her. However, if you look back in Faces, she was also the maid that when Alicent and Sir Criston were talking quietly in her room, she's the same maid that they dismissed whenever she came in to do the thing, and they dismissed her.
Yeah,
she was hearing, and that's what I'm saying is about what you know, information as a currency. Like, oh my goodness. So, like you say, her spy network is growing.
her spy network is deep, it's growing, and like even though Hightower paid her off that one time for the information on Daemon and Rhaenyra, he's not the only one who's got ties to her, because who's paying her to spy on Alicent?
Is Diana dead?
I think that they gave that girl poison. I don't think that was moon tea. I don't think that was moon. I don't think that was plan tea. I think that was actual poison. I think the girl's lying on the street somewhere.
What did they use? Nightshade, right? It might have been like a nightshade tea, death tea, but I don't know.
I don't feel like I thought there was to be a scene later on in the episode.
Me
somebody
too.
finding her body.
That's what I was thinking, but okay, so let's get into the dislike things a little bit. Chica, can you give me one of the things you disliked about this episode?
Let's see what I disliked. I feel like we moved on from Vaemon in general.
Well,
so
one of the things you have is also one of mine about Alicent and her manipulation.
I wanted to touch on that.
Please do.
So Alicent manipulating her son's latest rape victim.
Like you say, latest. This nigga does this on a regular.
He does it because of the way she confronted him about it. And so the girl beyond traumatized and went and told the right people, I guess, about what happened because she wanted help and she wanted sympathy. And so at first you think, oh, okay, Alicent's comforting her. Maybe she'll send her off to the countryside or something. I don't know. Like she gave her this hug or whatever. But then she was too prepared. That's why I said latest rape victim. She brought out that little bag of coins. I bet she kept the coins after brought out the little bag of coins.
Yeah.
And then she was just like, oh, here's this tea. You might think it's plan tea, but it's plan acid and down your throat. You finna die. You know.
Yeah, I mean, you're right, because it was like too smooth. Like she knew exactly what to say. How to gaslight the girl, Diana, or like really just it was just so
how she stepped
organized.
Away from her was when I was like, oh, this woman did. Because first she's hugging her, and then she's like, but guess what? You're a monster. You're a whore.
She took a step back like she was going to explode.
The way that she said, like, it sounds to me like you were alone with a prince, and that's a you problem.
Yeah.
Right.
And what you mean, like and I'm saying she was gaslighting her, like, oh, so how did this come about? Like, come on, bro, your fuck ass son did this. And Aegon, once again, needs his ass beat for this shit. Like, he needs his ass beat. Like, he needs to be hung and thrown out someplace, because this is some bullshit. And that was one of the things I hated.
He's nuts and everything. They got kids, right? He got enough. Just cut him. Like, I don't know what it is. Just chop that stuff off, because I just thought it was wild, because she clearly still needed to have that level of sympathy and care. And I don't even think that her giving her that acid tea to die or the money or whatever. I think if she still kept on that whole like, oh, I'm here for you, or kept touching her, like it would have helped calm her down and stuff, right? But instead she's just like, oh, well, this is how people are going to see it. But she's just spinning the shit. Well, they're going to think that you wanted it. They're going to think that you're that type of girl, you know?
Like the victim blaming. Like, that shit's wild.
Right. They're going to think that you're besmirching the prince, and that's treason or something like that. Like, you know, saying all this stuff. And I'm sure the girl's dead. And then she went to go confront her son. And I was just like, okay, another thing I disliked within that. Alicent, I did not need to see your son's ass. Thank you. I didn't.
That's the second time we've seen this.
She's
or the first time for him. Yeah.
Oh my God. Like, girl, stop looking at him. Like, stop talking to him when he's like this. Anyway, so she's all yelling at him. And then she's just like, you're no son of mine. And I was like, ooh. And that's when he was just like, I'm doing everything you want me to do. Like a bitch. Like he wasn't, like he's not a whole fucking rapist or whatever. Oh, you did everything. I'm and then Helena comes in and I'm just like, baby child.
No. I mean, Alicent, to me, she wavers between fuck them kids and, oh, but that's my son. That's my lineage. And it's just very weird how parents treat the children, particularly those who have lines or connections to the thrones. It's just weirdo behavior to me. It's just like, I fuck with them and then I don't. I will kill them and cut out the eye, but then, I want to save them. It's very weird to me.
Did I miss something?
Yeah.
But did Helena get the shit slapped out of her this episode?
No, that was Aegon. No. Aegon got the shit slapped out of him by Alicent.
Okay. All right.
You mean when he woke up and Aegon said, well, what day is it? She said, she was like, how could you do this on a day like today? And he's like, well, nigga, what day is it? And, got the taste snap out of his mouth because the nigga is disrespectful. And
but also, there's a lot of, I feel like a lot of people have been pointing out how Allison's crew is so much like looking like Republicans in real life. And a lot of how they move gives that, even down to how they treat children, because we talk a lot about like generally in policy about like how awful they are about like people who actually need, like they say people need to have kids, but they don't want to pay for the welfare for kids to be able to live. Yeah. And that's how they treat their actual, like, we think like, oh, they're good to their own kids. They're not. A lot of them are not good to their own kids. And that's what Allison gives up and down. It's like, who raised these kids? You did by not raising them. And they're awful people. And you are acting like he's getting in your way, but why would he know what today is? Because when do you ever counsel him, ask him to like be part of your like planning and your plotting? Like, he doesn't even have that bone. You have that bone a little bit because your father let you have it, but you haven't done any of that with them. And then you treat them badly for not picking up on what you lay down, because that's not what you ever programmed them for. You never actually like talked to them and got them interested in that stuff. And so like, you're gonna be mad at them for being who they are because you never shaped who they were, because you neglected them the whole time.
You're right. Does Wednesday Targaryen fall in that category though? Because she's neglected
too.
She's neglected, but the category. Let me say it, the category of being a horrible person, because we haven't really seen much of her except for her saying wild shit because of her dragon dreams or whatever. So
she like that one Trump daughter that he never mentions,
Tiffany.
Yeah. Like because he hate her mama.
Yeah. But also like because like she goes along, she knows enough about what's gonna happen next to know what she's doing as she sits alongside and being like, oh, your husband will ignore you and just like only talk to you whenever he's drunk. That's what
that is her. That man, that ain't enough glut in the world to help that woman. Like that is, that poor woman, like that ain't no. That's not like, did you see her face when she said that?
Did you see
like,
her hair?
That woman is not here.
She's not here.
So there's the thing for me.
Everywhere, everything, all at once.
There you go.
I feel like sometimes people are like underestimating like how lucid people are about what's going on and just not giving two F's about it or whatever. Like, I know I'm the strange person here. I know y'all are going to treat me like I'm ridiculous. And I'm going to just say stuff off of the top of my head anyway. Like, it's just what I'm going to be.
But what she's also saying is this man beats me when he's drunk.
Yes, he rapes me when he's drunk.
Right.
Yeah, so that's what, like, it's not like she's like.
But she's also trying to out this man. At the same time, she's coming off as not being lucid. She's also saying that her brother is a rapist to her as well. What I'm saying.
She's like, she ain't going along with it. This is just her life. It's like.
That's just Helena.
She's not like the conniving, like, meh, it's like, no, shit's just fucked. Like, that's what she's saying. Like.
Helena is of the multiverse.
I feel like she read the future and was like, there's nothing that I do is going to change this, so I'm just going to go along with it.
All right. I'm gonna get faded. That's what.
I feel like she's gonna be like America Chavez and rip a portal to the next dimension somewhere. Because it's like like you said, she's someplace else. She's not with us.
I can't believe her mama married her to her brother rapist. Like, damn.
Like I said, Allison don't care about. Allison says "fuck them kids" all day, every day. She's
also highly hypocritical. She was like, "Oh, the Targaryens have that strange institution." Whenever Daemon and Rhaenyra were trying to do the thing, and then she married. She didn't care, and then she was acting like she was annoyed because whenever she said like, "Oh, they should marry my sons," that would have been a little slightly better. At least there's a new gene pool there with the man out of wedlock than it is with the freaking Targaryens. But no.
Yeah. The only other dislike I wanted to mention, and please correct me if I'm wrong, did that Lannister nigga get a seat on the council?
He damn sure did.
That nigga that I do not like because he's a fucking punk ass bitch.
No,
that's he said I'm not that one. Yeah.
Either way, they're Lannisters, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's my point. Your niggas is back, man. I mean, they sowing their seed.
Look. Once again, I represent for Cersei and Jaime. I don't know this man. I'm sorry to that man.
I have a question for you. Do you not were you not more? Did you not respect their father more than Jaime and Cersei, because their father played the game more than either of them did?
Yeah, but he fucked up with what's his name too much for me with Tyrion.
Yeah, he did fuck with Tyrion too bad.
Then he died like Elvis.
And that's
I mean, with minus.
I respected him up until that arrow caught him, and then I was like, yeah, that's what you get.
Yeah. But I didn't like seeing the Lannisters fucking sneaking their asses on the council. And the council has changed considerably. Like, obviously, Otto and his daughter doing a thing. But then you saw the black man. He's now the new Grand Maester. You see some other niggas there. I don't really know the rest of them niggas like that. But I just thought it's interesting to see how in 6 years all that shit kind of just shifted. And they're essentially acting like the king. Or so Heyman thought. Sorry to you. Anything else y'all disliked about this episode?
Aemon being a little shit because, you know, they were giving Viserys his toast of death because it's like, oh, you finna die. So we'll just, since we all know you're dying.
We'll play nice.
We all, like,
we'll play nice.
Play nice with Grandpappy.
Right. Toast to this, toast to that. And as soon as Viserys leaves, he's just like, oh, y'all are strong.
Not 24 hours in the water.
Ain't 24 hours till they emaciated daddy, granddaddy, papa.
Wasn't
whatever,
even 1
uncle.
hour. Wasn't even 30 minutes.
It wasn't even a minute, bro. Like,
even a
immediately.
minute. He was just like, oh, he's with the shits because he's a little shit and everything. Started doing all that mess. And so then Daemon got in front of him. I was just like, ooh, is they going to fight? But something I thought about, which is more of a side note, is since Aemon has Vhagar, the biggest dragon, why didn't they just make Aemon their new... I know Aegon is first, but why not make Aemon the new next in line? The new heir, not the heir for, because Rhaenyra is the heir, but I mean for the High Towers. Like,
why did they skip over? Cause I thought because I figured because as much as they're hypocritical, they're still like, we gotta follow the lineage, and they
they can't
unless
skip over that
Aegon dies or is killed, like they're not gonna skip him.
But also, why would they need to? Like, Aemon's not gonna go switch to the side of the blacks. Like, he's gonna fight with his dragon no matter whose side he's on, and no matter where he is in the lineage, if he's second son or the next heir or whatever, he's still gonna fight with his dragon.
Right. I think it's just because I think Aegon has proved, even when he was growing up time and time again, that he's really not with the shit. Like, I mean, he's against them, but is he strong of mind? Like, does he know what's going on? Is he playing the game? Like, not like Aemon is. So
Aemon, also, so that's getting on my point of my dislike is that Alicent, Otto, all of them who are plotting on this stuff are really like short-sighted because they really want to play the game to put these puppets in power. Like, Alicent is Otto's puppet, but also her sons are his puppets. And she thinks she's puppeting her sons as well. And they don't even have an accurate read of like what they're capable of and like what they can do. There's no way Aegon would be a good ruler. And that doesn't matter to them because they want to be able to puppet them as they're leading. And for me, whenever the final scene is with the king and he's speaking about the prince that is promised, and she made herself interpret it as him talking about Aegon, even though he clearly was like, no, like let's say something else. No. And he was like in his dreams, like he was clearly just dreaming and saying stuff in his dreams. Facts. And she went and interpreted that as my Aegon, because there's 2 Aegons now, because
there's like 3 of them niggas. What's with this naming convention? There's like 3 Aegons, 2 Viseryses.
It's like Walder Frey, because like Walder Frey, like all his kids try to name like variants of Walder to try to get in his good graces.
Waldo. Oh yeah, Georgina, George, the first, the second, the third, the fourth. Yeah.
Right. George Foreman with all the naming. Like, stop doing that shit. Damn. Like, what are these people's real? So is Ray's kids like gone and Vice? Like, what is this? How differentiate any of this shit?
Okay, well, it's not gonna be a problem for much longer because the King Viserys is gonna die soon, so there'll be only one Viserys at that point.
Well, who's the other Viserys?
Her
baby.
Rhaenyra's a little bit,
Rhaenyra named her babies Aegon and Viserys, not to be confused with Alicent's Aegon and Aemon. The rapist,
Yeah.
Aegon the rapist, Aegon the baby, and then Aegon the conqueror. Aegon the, like, how many of these niggas is there?
Aemon the colonizer. Put some respect on that man.
Aemon well, yes. But you know what I'm saying? Like, you know,
the 24-year-old teenager.
That man's 50-year-old.
First of all, Aemon, he's supposed to, we've been reading, like, he's supposed to be 19. That nigga, first of all, age like bananas. That nigga is not 19. He look like he's a smooth 42. Like, don't do that.
That man
the fact that he was in the yard and swiping at Kristen Cole, like with like the force of like a strong,
grown-ass
like,
man.
yeah,
Right.
Big as shit compared to his. I mean, I know he's always been older, but come on, bro. Like, God
His
damn.
stuff been dropped. Like, this man crazy.
That man got one eye strength, boy. When you lose an eye, you know what I mean?
Oh
Like,
my God.
Everything comes to
He is the
forefront.
definition
grow
of
up quick.
overcompensating. Like, the definition
Yeah.
of overcompensating has Aemon right beside it.
I love
And
how he has
Aegon,
them all
for good
black
measure.
on. Like, my man is like, "Oh, we black? No, fuck that. I'm black, boy. Like, I'm gonna wear it out."
He just be doing his own fucking thing, bro. Like, for real. Let's move on to Chaos is Coming. Our predictions are look ahead for the rest of the next episode and even the rest of the series. Because as far as I know, Viserys did pass and go on to glory at the end of this episode.
done.
He saw
Bloody
Emma.
tear.
I believe
Yeah.
one of his last words was "my love," right? Because I assumed he
Yep.
saw Emma by the gates with Gabriel and the rest of them. So I presume the next episode is going to be the funeral for the king.
Yep.
Yeah.
And what
Yeah.
fuck shit's going to happen at the funeral? We already saw what happened at one funeral, and that wasn't
Ooh.
even that top level. This is the king. I don't want to say king of the north. This is the king of the kingdom. So then what? Now what?
Yeah, she's going. Allison's gonna be like, well, before he passed, he said
Yep.
Aegon was the Prince of Promise. Rhaenyra's gonna be like, that's a dream. No, that's a dream. I know it's a dream. He told me when he was still lucid. You lying?
Right.
I'm not lying. He said it was Aegon, and I said my Aegon, and he said Aegon. So that's what he meant. And then
But that's wild
Yeah.
annoying. Like she just technically, I know people gonna say what they want, but he technically got cleared up everything. They had this whole fucking family Sunday soul food dinner. They fucking had this whole argument in the club. Like Rhaenys was just like, nah, this is how it is. So I thought they settled everything. So for Alicent to potentially, and I feel like she's gonna do it, to come and just fuck that up again, it's just like, come on, bro. Like we can't have peace. I'm glad my nigga Viserys saw some peace before he died, but are you dead ass?
I don't
you
think.
know,
I think if it takes that little to get Alicent to move, I don't think she's really on par for peace in the first place.
Yeah, Alison's
Yeah.
about that life. I thought that was one thing that we didn't really say in the lights or whatever, but I thought it was really tragic. You know, when you see them sitting there at the dinner table and the dad's in between them, and it's like this is his wife and his daughter, and if they would just squash things up, the realm would know peace and
That's what
everything.
I'm
And
saying. But
instead,
I think he was crying. Like it wasn't just the pain. I think he was really crying because of what you're saying, Ben. I mean,
yeah,
like
I thought I was like, yeah, that's really tragic when you look at it.
Yeah.
It's like this one little family beef is about to have mad people dying.
Yeah, I think he was
ridiculous.
crying because he thought he got what he wanted, but no, they were just playing it out because they knew he was gonna die.
I
So-
think that I think a part of him knew that it wasn't enough.
Yeah.
And I also think that what happened with because he was there when he started having his body like doing its thing whenever he right after the boys started having their loaded argument or whatever, try to like kind of make it like as a toast, but like before the strong comment. And so you could see that he was like, the beef that started with Rhaenyra and Alicent and Otto is not going away with the kids. Like they got it too. So this is not going to go away. No matter how many dinners he tried to have before his last breath, this was still going to be there because they still got beef among the kids.
Absolutely. Any other notes about even some Easter eggs or even thoughts you have? I mentioned about the dragon dream when it came to Helena. So she's that person of this series, right? She's the brand of this series, right? So what are we gonna see coming from her going forward? Or do you know what we're gonna see? What is she gonna see? She's been saying some shit, and people have been connecting the dots, like, and people connected her with Aemond or Aegon rather, when Aegon said, I'm going to get a dragon, and she says he'll have to close an eye, and they've connected that to him losing the eye. Like she's been saying wild shit every episode, and it's seemingly either coming true right then and there or like right coming up. So we gonna see some more dragon
I'll
shit.
tell you what, I'll tell you what's coming is the one, and this was once again one thing that I loved and hated is like the foreshadowing is Shorty saying, I'll come back on Dragonback. Like the next time you see her on Dragonback, it ain't gonna be for no peace shit. So
No, right, it's not. And then she also, Helena also said that Rhaena and Baela were going to get married soon.
Yeah,
she said that during the toast. Now I know people were making fake toasts, but Helena's a little too touched to be like, oh, I'm finna do this toast like everybody else is doing it.
Yeah,
you know, because she also talked about how Aegon gets drunk, and
Are you saying somebody gonna die? I mean,
somebody's
someone
gonna
has to
get
die.
married, but I don't know. Like she said they're gonna get married, but I feel like there's gonna be some trouble with like them saying the way it's moving, I don't know how any of this is finna go. Like, you know, I would take whatever she says with foreboding, to be honest.
I agree. All right, so let's wrap up with our Dragoon of the Week. This could be the worst character that you can't stand this episode or your MVP of the episode. Chica, tell me who your Dragoon of the Week is.
So, my Dragoon of the Week, my MVP is Damon for cutting Vaemon's head off because that shit's been long coming, okay? It's just Corlys wasn't there to shut Vaemon's ass up, okay? And he had to just get out his whore, like that last war. And everything, and that cost him his head, his brains, his lineage, all the shit he was arguing about.
So you had to say it, nigga. You had to say it.
He had to say it, you know. He had to say it because we didn't have time to say it for Christian. Christian's also still a whore, but he was like an aside. He's like a side.
Get rid of that nigga.
Yeah, and then the worst character is Alicent for killing Diana and manipulating her child's rape victim like that. Like, fuck you. You not for women. You not for anybody. You for yourself. And I can't wait to see all that shit fall on her head eventually.
Facts. Ben Hameen, do you have a Dragoon of the Week?
Definitely Damon is one of them.
Mine was definitely Damon for the same reasons. And mainly because the nigga laughs at everything. He is unserious and everything is funny to him. When he laughed at Vaemon's death, that shit was classic.
He was like, say it out loud.
I think my Dragoon of the Week was Vaemon, though, for real.
Really? Why?
For sitting there and coming out his face and getting his head cut off.
For your entertainment, Ben, I mean, that's the only reason.
Yeah, I'm saying, when Damon hit him with that, say it. And then his little smirk, like he looked straight at Damon. He's like,
Why?
think I won't. He's a whole lot.
Yeah.
Portia, who was your Dragoon of the Week?
My Dragoon of the Week, who is like the MVP for me, was Rhaenys, because I think that she could have easily turned the table and at any given moment here. And she's seeing what is being put down and she's trying to make the safest choices possible to make sure that her baby's kids continue to live on this planet Earth. So I love that for her, and I love that she's doing the best that she can, and that it worked well for her in this and getting rid of someone who was taking away the claim to power that her kids needed. So I'm always going to be for someone who's sticking up for at least her. It's really ironic because Corlys says he's sticking up for his legacy, but she's the one who's actually playing the game to make sure those kids still live on.
Right. She said, stop saying about it, be about it, right? Like, do some real shit, do some real work. And this is unrelated, but I'm just curious, and I actually should have said it before, I'm curious where Larry, the nigga, is going to be coming into all of this. Because remember, he's like the wild card behind Alicent and how he's going to factor in to fuck shit up even worse than it already is.
When Rhaenyra come back, I feel
I hope she burned that nigga up, to be quite honest with you. Dracarys that nigga ASAP. I don't like him.
I hope so too. Because I hated how long what's his name managed to survive in the old one.
Littlefinger?
Littlefinger?
Littlefinger. I like
Varys?
Spider. I hated Varys.
Oh no, I loved Varys and I hated Littlefinger.
Varys was a gray character. Varys was gray. Littlefinger was just on the
Varys was great. I feel like because like Varys was for the realm.
Yeah.
Right. Littlefinger was for himself. Right. And I feel like they overplayed his character because he stuck around way longer than he needed to be part of the story.
Yeah.
And Littlefinger should have been got out.
Yeah,
he did. At the end,
Daenerys killed him.
At the end, he got murked.
Varys.
Varys. Yeah. I thought Varys.
No,
Littlefinger got murdered by Arya.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Who? Varys survived, though, right?
No,
he got burnt up by Daenerys.
Do you remember whenever they're at the round table discussion for the script and the actor put his script down on the table?
Oh, that's right.
Pissed.
Yeah, that's right. Yep. Yeah.
He got burnt up. So.
Oh damn. Man, everybody catches it. So yeah. Oh well.
Yeah. Everybody's catching it. Everyone. This was I love the episode once more. I'm with the Medieval Maury, as I call it. I appreciate talking about this shit with y'all. I appreciate everyone who's been listening to us and laughing along with us. Thank you so much for joining us for Castle Black. Make sure you are subscribed to us on your favorite podcast platform. You find For All Nerds. That's how you listen to Castle Black. We are here every week. Kudos to everyone who was like, please release. Can y'all please just release right after the show is over? I think we're going to start doing that going forward. So you'll see the show come out earlier. We're not going to be on Mondays anymore. We're going to be right after the episode's over so that you'll be able to hear us and laugh along. Thank you to everyone who is supporting us on our TeePublic. If you want to get some merch from us, we're going to have some new designs up. teepublic.com/stores/forallnerds. Make sure you also support us on our Patreon. Patreon.com/forallnerds. That's how we do the cool things like this and get to go to cool places and you get to see us be professionals. So as always, make sure you are watching us on YouTube, youtube.com/forallnerdstv. And as mentioned, please be listening to us. Share, like, subscribe. We love you. And we will see you soon for episode 9.